We're in the midst of an opioid/heroin crisis in the state and in the region, and it's impacted Groton and Ledyard just like everywhere else. Excuse me. The governor announced nearly $5 million in federal grants this week. Is there more that government should be doing to address this problem?
Heroin is a terrible public health crisis that's affecting way too many people. I've had the experience in my extended family of losing a member to a heroin overdose, and I have another member who thankfully has survived and is actually, I think, the poster child of surviving heroin addiction and being able to survive it. I've been involved with the Shine a Light on Heroin program and seeing the work that those people are doing. You know, I think there's only so much that government can do, and it really needs to be a community effort to inform people of how we got to this point with the heroin addiction. You know, I did introduce legislation in the last session. They make opioid drugs now with Narcan built into them, and the legislation would have required that to be considered a generic drug, because most opioid drugs you can buy now as a generic prescription. So if an opioid already has Narcan in the mix, you can take your pain pill just as it's prescribed, and you'll get your pain relief. But if someone does something untoward with it, whether they're going to crush it up and snort it or make it into something injectable, the Narcan cancels out the effect. That one didn't get very far in this session, but I think I will introduce that one again. I was able to be a part of co-sponsoring a couple of other bills. One was to limit first-time prescriptions of an opioid to just 7 days. It also impacted Narcan distribution and training. And then I co-sponsored another bill where opioids are limited to just a 38-day prescription. You can no longer get like a 90-day mail order, so that it helps to impede, I think, theft and misuse of those drugs. But the thing that I'm most happy to have co-sponsored was the Ban the Box bill. Using my nephew as an example, when he has kicked the habit, but he had to do it with 2 extended stays in a Connecticut jail. And part of the reason why he ended up going back to jail is when he was out the first time, he couldn't find a job. It was demeaning to him not being able to find a job. He was going to McDonald's and Burger King and Subway and everybody else that he could think of and applying for a job. And one of the questions on the application was, have you been convicted of a felony? And he honestly checked the box yes. That application never saw the top of the pile, and he never got a job. He ended up going back to the drugs, and he ended up going back to jail. Now, he's been able to get a career, and I'm very proud of him, but this Ban the Box thing will help because it takes that question off of a job application. So someone who is struggling with addiction and really wants to do the right thing and stay sober can actually get an interview. And maybe this person won't be qualified to be at the cash register because they've been convicted of a felony, but they can flip burgers, they can make French fries, they can do other jobs that will keep them out of trouble, because idle hands get in trouble when it comes to addiction problems.
Thank you. Ms. Conley?
As a workers' compensation specialist and a member of the Connecticut Bar Association Workers' Compensation Session, I have been working with doctors for years over the opiate problem. Regularly, attorneys and doctors have been meeting for over the last 10 years about problems that we see in our common practices. I represent injured workers who often have to deal with pain, who often have surgeries, and unfortunately who often are addicted to opiates. We have known this for years, and we've been working together. The doctors are prescribing less. This bill will help, but the doctors have been prescribing less for years, tapering people down. I am proud that other groups have joined our fight, because quietly lawyers and doctors have been working together on this problem for years. I am proud of the fact that community groups such as the Shine a Light on Heroin and Joe Delacruz and his wife have been working with Community Speaks Out to bring more knowledge and awareness so that this problem, if it happens to hit your family, is brought to the front. What needs to happen in government is that we need to deal with Medicaid so that people can get a physical visit and a mental health or psychological visit at the same time. What is happening now is you have to go to the 2 different doctors on 2 different days, not just 2 different appointments. And with people struggling through finding work, getting time off from work at new jobs, getting transportation, and dealing with childcare. Having 2 appointments on 2 different days in the same week is one reason why people are not going to get some of the mental health care that you need. So that is an easy fix that needs to happen so that people have more access to physical health and mental health care. We need to do more work together. Unfortunately, there is not one solution. We cannot police our way out of the opiate problem, but together with all the professionals, we can hopefully get over this problem, and hopefully there will not be a new drug that pops up that we have to deal with. But recently today, one of my classmates, I just saw on Facebook before I left that he had struggles and he passed away. So this is a problem that affects us all, and it needs to be dealt with by all of us in all of our walks of life.
Thank you.